Good morning, all. Morning, Kimberly. Morning, Firefly. JD. Thanks for dropping in. It's caught you early. Caught you early today. I just sort of wanted to do it a bit earlier today. I hope you can see and hear me okay. Hi, Stand Up. Hi, Helen Rowley. How is everyone? How's everyone's Sunday? Sound is good. That's good. Yeah, so I just thought, hi, Sheila Ryder. I just thought we'd go over. Well, obviously got Cassandra Cantrell still missing. Suzanne Morphew still missing after 4 months, and there's other cases as well that are coming up. And I caught a little bit of Kelly's live yesterday. I didn't catch all of it, only a bit of it. I just popped in. I just wondered how that went as well, because I probably some of you were there. Hi Tracy G, new subscriber. That's good. It's always good to see new people. But yeah, I wondered how that went. I just think it's increasingly difficult to kind of talk to these people, to the the other side, if you like. It just becomes hi Ben. It just becomes difficult, doesn't it? It just becomes a kind of slanging match, and it's just impossible. I find it so difficult. Um, I don't know. I don't know. I think people just need to leave the Rusex alone. Let them push on for this law, which is going to benefit everybody, isn't it? Something like Shanann's law is going to benefit many people, and it needs to be something there, definitely. Although it's going to be extremely difficult because you've got all the different countries, and of course it's social media as well, across YouTube, across the world. It's difficult, but people shouldn't be allowed to do what think people like AD's done. Shouldn't be allowed. It should never. Hi Guernsey gal. High coat of many colours, high Irish eyes. Shouldn't really be allowed, should it? I don't think. It's completely wrong. So there needs to be something put in place to stop that, to protect people. I don't know. I'm not an expert on. I don't know how they would do it, but certainly something needs to be done. But we'll talk about that a little bit later. I'm just interested. I know probably I saw a few of you in there. I'm just kind of staying back a little bit at the moment. I don't know if you've noticed, but I'm just kind of keeping out of it, because then I start getting accused of stirring stuff up and not helping the situation. So I think Kelly's doing a good enough job on her own, and Martin, of dealing with that at the moment. So yeah, I thought we'd we'll have a look first at Cassandra Cantrell. So she is missing woman from Parkland, Washington, and there's quite some interesting dynamics going on surrounding her disappearance. So what I can do with the wonders of technology is I can show you my screen, and it also hides my face, which is a double bonus. Okay, so Cassandra Cantrell, she's been missing since the early morning of Tuesday, August 25th, and she's 3 months pregnant. And her mum and her brother have been quite vocal on social media, in trying to find her. So obviously they're desperate, of course they are. And the police and everybody appealing for the public's help. So, that's where we can step in, isn't it? Because we can put our heads together, we can put Cassandra's face out there, we can put the story out there, and hopefully somebody might see this and know something. So she was last seen leaving her mum's house. The story goes, so she lives in Parkland in Washington, and her mother saw her that morning. Her mother left for work that morning, and her mother sort of had a little conversation with her, I love you, I love you. But her mother did notice that, because there was some talk that she may have been going to a grocery store, but her mother noted that she kind of dressed up, rather than just chuck on a pair of jeans and put her hair up, that kind of thing, to go to the grocery store. She kind of took a bit of extra time and effort in getting ready, if you like. So it definitely sounds like she left to meet somebody. And also on top of that, I've since learned that the first pregnancy test that she took is missing. Now, I've kind of seen a few people discuss this online. Some people say, "Oh, that's weird. Why would you keep your pregnancy stick?" But some women say, "Well, I did. I do." So I don't really see kind of why that's really a point. But apparently that was missing. So that leads you to believe that, was she, or did somebody demand to see evidence of her pregnancy? Now, the baby's father is actually her ex-boyfriend. The story kind of goes that they were together when she was about 16, 17 for about 3 years. And then a new girl came into the scene. The ex-boyfriend then got with her, and they've been together since. And her mum has reason to believe that maybe she was going to see him. Maybe she was going to see him. Maybe he wanted to see proof of this pregnancy. Now, I still don't know whether the girlfriend actually knew, the new girlfriend. I don't know whether she knew that Cassandra was pregnant. But this whole kind of story and the dynamics around that, I think you'd have to agree that, he is suspect number one, because of who he is. And obviously she's pregnant, she's having a baby. He's got a new girlfriend. We don't know whether she knows about it. We don't know for certain that he knew about it. But, did he demand proof? Is that why this pregnancy sticker's gone? Did she take that to show him? Did she go to see him? Her brother, I saw him mention that that's the only person that she would normally go and see at that time of the morning, because his new girlfriend works or isn't there at that time in the morning, and the new boyfriend doesn't work until the afternoons. So if I'll just bring you up a map. Let's just have a look. So I don't know if anyone's from this area, but the area we're looking at, so it's around Tacoma. So you got Vashon Island, which is where her phone last pinged. Her phone last pinged on the south tower of Vashon Island, which I believe is around about here. And from that, authorities kind of deduce that she may be around this, or the phone may be around this area. This is where they've been searching. Okay, Point Defiance Park. This is That's where police have concentrated their searches. And yesterday and today, the family have organised a search. There's been a lot of volunteers have gone out. This was yesterday, and again they're going out today. I don't know what they found yesterday. I didn't hear that they found anything yesterday, but it's in this area. I mean, it's a huge park. Some people also saying maybe because they had some divers in over this area, police divers, they did. People have mentioned that they sometimes do training here, but could her phone possibly be in the water? Could somebody have come here, dumped her phone in the water? Of course, that's another possibility. To get across to the island, the only way is by ferry, apparently. I mean, I presume that that's being looked at. Presumably ferries and everything would have cameras on. Can't think that she would have got across to that island without being seen, or there'd be some note of it, taking a ferry. So this is the area they seem to be concentrating on. It's Point Defiance Park. Now, Cassandra's house is it's actually down in this area in Parkland. So it's down here. I don't know the exact house, but it's around this area in Parkland, basically. And interestingly, her vehicle was found in an area that her mum said that she would never go. It's not. Locals have said it's it's not a nice area. Apparently, it's near the Tacoma Dome, and it was near this Highway 705 highway, East 25th Street. It's kind of around about here, I think. Her vehicle was actually found. So her vehicle was found with the keys in it as well. And her ex-boyfriend, interestingly, only lives about, I think it's about 1.5 miles away over here. So it's pretty close to the ex-boyfriend's house. Kind of hence why he's being looked at as suspect number one, because it's near his house, and also, of course, because of who he is. Now, they have searched his property. I understand they've been in. They got a search warrant. They searched his house. Don't know yet what they found, if anything. Don't know that yet. I've got a picture here somewhere of the house. So this is the ex-boyfriend's house. They have been in and searched. FBI and police have been in. I think they've took evidence away. Don't yet know what that is or what they found. But, he's kind of being looked at as prime suspect at the moment. And of course, I think he's got to expect that with the dynamics of their relationship, with him being the ex, with her being pregnant. Like I say, we don't know if his new girlfriend knows about it. And one thing her mother did say, I saw on social media, so she said, this is Cassandra's mum. She says, allow me to make this abundantly clear to anyone harbouring the slightest notion that my daughter could have committed suicide. It wouldn't occur to her. She is set for life with me, and she damn well knows it. She's thrilled about the baby, not interested in child support, doesn't need it, and is over the moon about our plans to convert the garage to an MIL for her and the baby. I don't know what an MIL is. She loves to interior design, decorate. She and her brother have done dumb things in their lives, and they always know that my home is the one place they can come to. So I mean, that's what her mother put out. So that's kind of where we are with that. So it'll be interesting to know in the next couple of days, hopefully tomorrow, whether they find anything. I mean, they are treating it obviously suspiciously, and they're treating it as a possible homicide. They've actually mentioned that, authorities have actually said that. I don't know what leads them to say that, what leads them to believe that, but it's all very suspicious. I mean, you would think that there would be forensics on her vehicle, wouldn't you? If somebody drove her or drove with her in her vehicle to that place, you would expect them to be some kind of, fingerprints, DNA, whatever, in her car. But then, did she follow somebody there in her car? If she, if it was her driving it, very difficult to know. But the parents are screaming out for her mum's screaming out for cameras in the area because it's a very industrial area. I'll see if I can show you where her vehicle was found. You would think that there's got to be cameras in that area that would have caught something. Where is it? Oh, yeah, it's down here. So I don't know the exact location. I just know that it was near. It was near the highway overpass, so it's kind of in this area. And apparently there's a lot of businesses and everything along this road. You would have thought somebody would have caught something. It's kind of in this area here, I believe, where her vehicle was found. So as I say, it was found unlocked with the keys in it. No signs of damage, no sign of forced entry, anything like that. In an area that her mum said she would never go to. It's known locally to be quite not a safe place to go. Obviously, personally, I don't know the area, but why was she there? Why is her car there? Did she drive there? Did someone else drive her vehicle there? These are all things that we don't really know yet. Is there going to be evidence in that car? Is there going to be evidence in her ex-boyfriend's house? What do you guys think? What do you say? What are your thoughts on this? I mean, the whole relationship with her ex and being pregnant. Do you think maybe somebody demanded to see evidence that she was pregnant? According to her mum, she was overjoyed. She was overjoyed. She ordered a name for a boy and a girl. Okay, so the boyfriend, I believe, is a bit older. I believe that he's kind of around in his early 40s. And I think his new girlfriend is a few years younger. And Cassandra is, what's she, 33. I'm just going to read out some things that I've got from Facebook and stuff like that. It's a lot of how I do my research, obviously, as I join a lot of these groups and what have you, because often you find out a lot of information from there. Let me just bring up another picture of Cassandra. Just for anybody who's maybe watching. Let me just find a better picture. So this is some info that I've got from. So this was just recently from her brother, her twin brother. He says, my twin sister is still missing. We'll be doing another search. So this was today and yesterday this was happening. We are asking for volunteers to please help in the search. By the way, if anybody wants to join the Facebook group, it's called Where is Cassandra Cantrell discussion group. So that's Where is Cassandra Cantrell discussion group. If anybody wants to join that. So they have searched Point Defiance Park, and they'll be doing that again later today. Now, I did see somebody that was on social media. Apparently, they are all part of a kind of acting group or theatre group, if you like. And interestingly, someone put that she was in Rocky Horror with all of them a little while ago. And of course, this is speculation, but this person said that he was a psycho. He got super pissed at her once. This was back in 2006, it was a long time ago, because she called him his first name in front of the rest of the cast instead of calling him by his preferred name, which is Hatman. They have named this guy. Well, this guy's name is out there on social media. I'm not going to name him because police haven't named him, but his name and his girlfriend's name is not difficult to find if you go looking. But also apparently he's not being very cooperative. I don't know, presumably police know where he is, but you would hope so, wouldn't you? He hasn't actually come out and said anything yet, and the police have actually said that he's not being particularly cooperative. It just doesn't sound good to me at all. So the woman that he she also says that the woman that he originally cheated on Cassandra with, his current girlfriend, also had a serious boyfriend in the cast. It was messy, that's all I know. So it sounds like there was obviously some dynamics in this cast, in this theatre group. Okay, so it's actually the girlfriend's 44 and he is around 37, 38. So they're older, slightly older than Cassandra. Now they did, I understand, yesterday did yield a potential witness who saw Cassandra the morning that she disappeared. I understand. So maybe there was somebody that saw her that morning. I hope so. Somebody must have seen her. Somebody must have seen her vehicle or something, right? Okay, I'm just gonna play. I've just got this lady here on Facebook. She seems to be pretty up to date with everything.
For her last known whereabouts. It's another
just going to play this
group of volunteers say they feel they've made progress. For Cassandra Cantrell, after
Tell me
group
if
of
you can hear that,
volunteers
okay?
say they feel they've made progress in this search for Cassandra Cantrell after finding someone they believe is a potential witness who can help build the timeline for her last known whereabouts. It's another potential piece to the puzzle that could bring her home.
I can't even imagine being pregnant and being in a situation like that. I really can't. I just want to find her. I really just want to find her.
Many of those searching for Cassandra Cantrell never knew her, but her stories compelled them to help.
All we know for sure is she left the house at 8:44 in the morning, and that's it. The rest is theories, guesses.
The search party, compiled of family and volunteers, focused on an area of Tacoma today, not far from where Cassandra's white Mazda was found last Friday, with the keys inside, and the same neighborhood where earlier this week a search warrant was served. Cassandra's family says it's the home of a man she dated when she was a teenager and was more recently just a friend.
That's what we're relying on, is what people feel inside. We're relying on all those people out there who have daughters, who have grandkids. It's like, what if this was your daughter?
Investigators and volunteers have yet to find Cassandra's cell phone, which has been off since she disappeared last week. But there's something else her mother believes she may have left the house with last Tuesday.
The very first test that she took when she went to the clinic, it's missing. I can't think of why she, need it, except if somebody asked her for it.
Family says though Cassandra is early in her pregnancy, about 12 weeks, it doesn't matter. To Marie Smith, this search isn't just for her only daughter, but for her grandbaby too.
That's all that we've been talking about, is the baby and planning for the baby. There's already a whole future laid out. And I won't let that be gone.
Though detectives suspect foul play in this case, Marie is praying they're wrong.
There have been enough people who've gone missing that years later even, they find them. They go, oh my goodness, they've been alive all this time. People have miracles. I want my miracle. So I'm going to keep looking. I don't care how long. We're going to find her. We're going to find her.
Search party organizers say they could desperately use more volunteers, more feet on the ground. They say even if you have just an hour of time to spare, it could help find Cassandra. They're hoping that they'll get a big turnout here at Lincoln Park in Tacoma tomorrow at 8 a.m. In Tacoma, I'm Olivia Lavoie, Q13 News.
Poor mother, it's just heartbreaking, isn't it? So yeah, they've been searching, as I say, yesterday and today. They'll be searching Point Defiance Park again. It's just
Baby.
baffling,
Cassandra
isn't it?
Cantrell's mother says she can't bear her. She may never see her daughter again. Morning as FBI forensic crews have come in and out of the home that sheriff's deputies say belongs to a suspect. And while they say they haven't made any arrests and Cassandra is still missing, they're now treating her case as a homicide. Despite this devastating revelation, Cassandra's family says they're still holding on to hope.
I hope they're wrong. I hope she'll be found alive and safe, and we'll have her home again. I'm looking forward to seeing her and the baby.
Cassandra Cantrell's mother says she can't bear herself to fathom she may never see her daughter again and may never meet the grandbaby she says Cassandra was so excited to give her.
If she's given a chance, she'll be a great mom.
The nightmare of her only daughter missing is compounded by the fact that this could happen to Cassandra during what was looking to be the happiest time of her life.
Right now, that's all she's focused on, is everything revolving around the baby. she wouldn't have done anything to jeopardize that.
The Sheriff's Department agrees. By all accounts, she wouldn't willingly disappear.
Unfortunately, we haven't found her, and that's why we're working this as a homicide investigation until something tells us differently. We do have a suspect that we want to take a look at, to do a deeper dive into.
The suspect, whose home is being processed by the FBI, has no criminal history. Family tells us he is an ex from Cassandra's past.
We did develop some new information that they may have been around each other recently, and that it wasn't just an ex-boyfriend from many years ago.
The Sheriff's Department and FBI is also processing the suspect's car, in addition to searching numerous areas of the county. Despite investigators' grim suspicions about the case, Cassandra's mother says she's praying for a miracle.
You always hear stories about people who've been missing, and the worst has been thought, and it turns out they're wrong. So that's what I'm holding on to. That's what I'm holding on to.
Now, Cassandra's family is asking anyone in the Parkland and Tacoma area that have business or home security cameras to check that footage to see if there is anything that may help lead investigators to Cassandra's whereabouts. Of course, if you have any information on this case, you're urged to contact the Pierce County Sheriff's Department or call 911.
Been some speculation about.
Yeah, you would think somebody would have something on camera, right? It's really hard to believe that. Microphone down. It's hard to believe that there's nothing. Nobody's caught. Ah, there you go. Hit the mute button by accident. So, 1 p.m. that same day, her phone pinged. So, 5 hours later, 4 or 5 hours later, her phone pinged at that location I showed you at Point Defiance Park. And then later, or a few days later, they found her vehicle. And like I say, that was coincidentally, it was only a mile and a half from her ex-boyfriend's home. So, where is she? Somebody must have seen her. A camera must have picked her up somewhere. There must be neighborhood cameras in her neighborhood that would have seen her. There must be cameras near where her vehicle was found. Can't imagine that they're not going to find anything there. But that's kind of the latest. So as I say, they are doing searches today, and they did them yesterday. And as I say, I think they were concentrating on the area of where her phone last pinged. In this area up here, it's a big wooded area, and there's beach area there as well, beachfront that you can visit. I don't know if anyone's familiar with the area. I think there's a zoo there as well. I mean, yeah, there's got to be CCTV there, hasn't there? If she did go there, but her mum doesn't believe that she would have gone there herself, so it's just mystifying. I guess it's a bit like the Suzanne Morphew case, except here they've found her car and they've got her phone ping. So let's just hope that turns out. Let's hope they find some positive news today. It's truly mystifying. So like I say, if you want to join the Facebook group, then it is called Where is Cassandra Cantrell discussion group. You can just find it on Facebook, and you can join. They post on there about searches and stuff. So if you're in that area and you know you want to help in the searches, then that's the place where you need to go. Okay, now of course the other case that's still ongoing is now over 4 months is of course Suzanne Morphew's. Some of you probably know or up to date with everything, but I'm just going to go over kind of the latest that came out. Just go over a few things. We've got the kind of Daily Mail scoop, if you like, that they got from this employee, Jeff Puckett, or whatever his name was. And so I'm just going to see if we can kind of work out the timeline a little bit of what's going on now, because there's quite a lot of conflicting information that's going around. So of course this came out a couple of days ago. So husband of missing Colorado man spent the night before her disappearance at cheap Denver hotel, and apparently the room reeked of chlorine. Now interestingly, I saw a video today. I think the name of it, if you look it up, it's a YouTuber, and I believe their name is Masked Therapist, and she has actually went to that same hotel, same Holiday Inn. It's in Broomfield, Colorado, and she walked in and said that as soon as she walked in the door, she said, "Oh my God, it stinks of chlorine. The whole building stinks of chlorine." And then she walked out. So take from that what you want. Does the whole building just reek of chlorine anyway? Because of COVID, are they doing loads of extra cleaning and what have you with chlorine? Of course, chlorine is in bleach. So bleach, chlorine's pretty much very similar. I know you can get some bleaches that have chlorine in, some bleaches that don't have chlorine in. And I was just looking some stuff up about detecting evidence after bleaching, because, of course, as we know, a lot of people try and use bleach to cover up blood traces and what have you. So I found this interesting article online, Explore Forensics, talking about detecting evidence after bleaching. So it says most people know forensics involves many different kinds of evidence, whether that is blood evidence or a weapon. However, the evidence can become degraded from a number of things such as time, heat, or the use of bleach. So it says understanding bleach and evidence. To understand how it all works, you have to consider that there are two kinds of bleach that are found in the majority of cleaning products within your home. There are bleaches that are primarily chlorine, and there is also what they call oxygen bleach, which is chlorine-free bleach. I think they call it like a safer bleach. Now, I don't know, chlorine, I think probably smells very similar to bleach, doesn't it? If you smell chlorine at a pool, it does smell kind of similar-ish to the bleach you use at home, doesn't it? Though it is slightly different, right? It is quite a distinctive smell, isn't it? Chlorine, when you go to like a swimming pool, it's got that kind of distinctive smell. But, whether you could easily, whether it would be easy to identify chlorine from bleach if you were smelling both, I don't know. May smell very similar, particularly if it's a bleach with a lot of chlorine in it. Chlorine bleaches, so it says here, chlorine bleaches can remove a blood stain to the naked eye, but fortunately forensic experts can use the application of some substances such as luminol to show that hemoglobin is present In fact, even if the shady criminal washed a blood-stained item of clothing 10 times, these chemicals could still reveal blood. So that's with chlorine-based bleaches, or of course with chlorine itself. As I understand it, the luminol works by the iron in the blood, in the hemoglobin in the blood contains iron, and the iron reacts with oxygen, and that's what causes them to get that chemical reaction with the luminol. The luminol has like an oxygen-based agent in it, and it's that reacts with the hemoglobin in the blood, which then gives them, when they're trying to find traces. So what they're basically saying, if it's a chlorine-based bleach, then they're still going to detect blood, basically. But then it says with oxygen bleach, otherwise known as kind of clean bleach or safe bleach or bleach without chlorine in it, the bleach has an oxidizing agent, which could be a substance such as hydrogen peroxide. In these instances, hemoglobin is completely removed and can't later be detected. So, in summary, it's basically two different kinds of bleaches. Depending on which one you use, is going to allow blood to still be traced. To take it from that, chlorine probably on its own isn't going to be able to completely remove blood from being traced from forensics. So all depends on what chemical you're using, really. If that was what, of course, if that was what Barry was trying to do, we don't know. Did the hotel just reek of chlorine? Are they doing extra cleaning? Also, the timeline on that I find very confusing, because this Jeff Puckett guy, who's suddenly come out of nowhere with this story. Initially it came out that Barry had stayed there the night, but then later on, when he spoke with Lauren Schaff from Fox, he said that it didn't appear that he stayed there very long. He said the bed wasn't slept in, didn't look like he stayed there, or slept in that room. So how long did Barry stay there? Did he stay the night? Because to me, it doesn't sound like he did now. So I found that a little bit confusing, to be honest. I mean, I don't know if you agree, but I am now of the belief that Suzanne went missing on Saturday. I don't believe that it was. My personal opinion, I don't believe that she went missing on Mother's Day. I think it was the day before. As we know, communication with her friend, that stopped at, I think it was around mid-afternoon on Saturday. They were texting back and forth about a wedding, and I think it was around 2:30ish that suddenly communication stopped. So in my mind, Saturday is the day when she actually disappeared. Sunday was the day that she was reported missing. That's kind of how I'm looking at it personally now. I don't know how you guys feel about. And I think a lot of people now, me included, are dismissing the bike ride, because it just doesn't seem to make sense, does it? So also, of course, we have. So let me bring up a map. So we've got Barry at this hotel, right? On Saturday. We don't know how long he stayed there. Let me bring it up. It's quite a way away from, Broomfield's quite a way away from Salida as well. Okay, so here's the, hopefully give you an idea of my map here. So Broomfield is kind of northwest of Denver, basically. I think it's a suburb of Denver, and it's a good few hours drive away from Salida. Now, don't forget, didn't the neighbour? There was the property, wasn't there? The construction property of where the neighbour said that she heard machinery. Was that? So was that the Saturday night? Was that the Saturday night? Because of course he would have had to get from Broomfield down to that construction site if that was him that was started up that machinery at the at that job site, which was right down in Salida. It's quite a distance away. Yeah, he had a machine to chop up trees. He definitely did. Also something I was talking to today. I was talking to my wife today. Because my wife, some of you probably know, she's not a psychologist, but she's a psychology lecturer. She's been teaching psychology for 25 years, and I showed her Barry's kind of plea, and something stuck out to her which I hadn't really thought about, and it's where when Barry said, he's saying, "Oh, Suzanne, if anybody can hear this," and then he said, "Whatever it takes, no questions asked." No questions asked. Is that something you would say about somebody who's took your wife? Would you really say no questions asked? Really? Maybe if someone stole something of yours and you just wanted it back, maybe if it was an object and you were kind of, please just give it back to me, no questions asked, I just want it back. Someone's took your wife, imagine, you there, someone took your son or your husband or daughter or whatever. Would you really sit there and say, please, whoever, no questions asked, just bring her back? You wouldn't, would you? You'd be asking so many questions. Like what the hell? So maybe, and she said it's almost like he knows someone's taken her, or he's trying to put across this notion that somebody has taken her, because obviously, he's saying, whoever's out there can hear this, whoever's got her, kind of thing. He's almost planted this narrative that someone has took her, and he's appealing to them. Well, of course, you wouldn't know what's happened, would you? You would just appeal to anyone. You'd be saying anyone out there who's got any information, anything. And I certainly don't think you would say no questions asked. That's quite a big statement to make about somebody who has potentially kidnapped your wife. Unless of course you had prior knowledge that that's not the case. So I thought that was an interesting point. So yeah, so if anyone hasn't seen the article, so he basically, and of course cameras, they'll have cameras showing all of this, so I'm sure that authorities have got the cameras from this hotel. Apparently he spent the night before she vanished at a budget hotel in Denver and left the room reeking of chlorine. So I I personally don't know how much weight that story's got about the chlorine. I don't know. And then, of course, she was reported missing on Mother's Day. So don't forget, of course, now, according to family of Barry's, he said goodbye to her at 5 a.m. on Sunday morning. So he'd have had to stay at this hotel, get back to Salida for 5 a.m. Sunday. So I can't see how he would have stayed the night at this hotel on Saturday and then been there 5 a.m. on Sunday. It's just impossible. So I don't know. Something's just, some of these bits of information that are coming out just don't kind of add up. So whether that's because somebody's story's starting to break down and not add up, I don't know, or whether people are taking 2 and 2 and making 5. It's difficult to know, isn't it? Of course, the bike, we don't know about the bike. So, of course, Barry's come out and said that, you know, he's done nothing wrong. I'll actually play the clip in a minute that Lauren Schaff did with Barry. She actually spoke to him on the phone. You know, Lauren Schaff's doing her best to try and get Barry to speak. He's saying that he's being persecuted, and the FBI are lying. He's actually said that he's seen them lie and they're allowed to lie. You know, it's quite a big statement there, Barry, I must say. But he's saying he's done no wrongdoing. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to play the article, or the video, sorry, from Lauren Schaff, if I can find it. Okay, here it is.
It's been nearly 4 months since anyone has seen missing Chaffee County mother Suzanne Morphew. Today, the sheriff's office releasing new information.
In a press release, the sheriff acknowledging 2 months have passed since his last update, but said his investigative team has not lost focus.
The sheriff says the team has conducted hundreds of interviews both in Colorado and out of state, and that their sole focus is either finding Suzanne or determining the circumstances behind her disappearance.
Fox 21's Lauren Schaff is live in the studio now. Lauren, these explosive headlines brought this case back on everyone's mind.
Daniela, face-to-face and on the phone, I spoke with Barry Morphew, giving me his side of the story on the record for the first time. This after a man he used for contract work spoke out about what he found in a hotel room Barry had used the weekend of Suzanne's disappearance. Tonight, exclusive interviews with both men. So I want to do this on record. Tell me your side of the story, Barry.
Listen, Jeff Puckett was in prison for 9 years.
Still, Barry had hired Puckett for a project in Broomfield, fixing a wall on what turned out to be the weekend his wife, Suzanne, was reported missing.
So I said, listen, I need to do this job. I will pay you good money to come and help me. I gave them a job and an opportunity. They all jumped on it.
Barry said he'd been planning the project for a month.
That had nothing to do with Suzanne missing.
And Barry paid for Puckett's room, but didn't stay.
And that's why he had to leave for family emergency on Sunday night.
Puckett says he walked into the room set aside for him, and it looked like Barry had spent time inside at some point as well.
Like he wasn't there long, and so it was bought. The bed wasn't hardly slept in, but I wasn't laid in or nothing. It was just kind of like laid on or something maybe. Maybe got in there, took a shower, and that's it, washed up and left.
But he said something was off, a distinct smell. Describe what the room smelled like.
Chlorine. I mean, I'm not going to beat around the bush. It smelled real strong, and I'm like, damn. That's just all I thought.
And the next morning, a discovery that just didn't sit right, a piece of mail in the trash inside the room addressed to Barry.
What I found in the mail the next morning, but it just kind of like, this was like an alibi, you know what I'm saying? Just the way the things was.
Fox 21 News is the only news outlet that's talked with Barry Morphew. He says when he got the news about Suzanne, he left in a hurry.
I rushed home, left all my tools at the hotel, called my workers and said, I've got a family emergency. You're going to have to figure this out on your own.
But Puckett says
But nothing to work with.
the crew was left high and dry and the wall couldn't be completed.
When as far as the dirt to put down there, put it behind the wall. Once you build it up, you got to you run a layer block, do dirt, get inspected, and then continue on to the next layer. And then wasn't nothing like that to work with. And it kind of pissed me off, so I come on back.
Puckett says he turned what he found over to authorities.
I mean, it's either foul play or an alien got her. I mean, we know aliens, that's kind of far-fetched.
Barry told Fox 21 News he's not worried about anything left behind in that room.
I didn't do nothing wrong in the hotel. There's cameras all over that place. I did nothing wrong.
Noting even he had noticed the smell of chlorine but shrugged it off.
I did not go to the pool and I did not get chlorine. I'm sure that they washed their rooms with that for the COVID. I don't know. I smelled it too when I was in there.
The hotel says its pool isn't even open, an effect of ongoing coronavirus restrictions. The hotel also says it uses peroxide multi-purpose cleaner in its rooms. But another question involving odor, following a search of the Morphew family home.
From what I understood, secondhand, they said there was an overwhelming smell of bleach in the home.
That information apparently was relayed by initial investigators.
I've heard the FBI lie, and I know they can legally do that in their investigations, but it just pains me to know that they are doing this to me and my family.
They did ask us, why can't we find any coolers at that house? And I said, well, I have no idea. I wouldn't know how many they had to begin with, but I'd have to assume as a hunter and a guy that maybe camps, he would have a few, and they couldn't find a single one.
The Morphew property has been searched multiple times with 2 separate sealed search warrants, and no arrests or person of interest have been named.
Put it on record, Barry, right now. If people think that you did it, what would you tell them?
Absolutely not. I love my wife. I would never hurt my wife. She is the light of my and my daughter's lives.
The Chaffee County Sheriff's Office is the lead agency on this case. I personally have made several attempts to open the lines of communication with Sheriff Speasy. He hasn't returned any of my calls. Next week on Fox 21 News, we'll tell you what's being called into question and why, guys.
Yeah, so there we go, guys. I don't know. What are your thoughts about this Jeff Puckett guy? I've got some questions about that interview. I don't know how much this smell of chlorine is actually really a story, because, as I say, the hotel said themselves that they use peroxide-based cleaning agents. And if you remember when I was talking about bleaches, with oxygen bleach, which is a type of bleach, it could use a substance such as hydrogen peroxide. So it's quite feasible in my mind that could just be the cleaning agents that they're using. Because of COVID, they're going to be doing a lot of extra cleaning. So maybe it just stinks of bleach anyway because of the cleaning. And as I say, after this live, if you look up a YouTuber called Masked Therapist, I'm pretty sure it's Masked Therapist, she actually went to that hotel and she walked in and said it reeks of bleach. She said, there's your answer, it stinks of bleach, and she left. So maybe the hotel just stinks or reeks of bleach. Also, Lauren Schaff said that the pool wasn't open, that the hotel said the pool wasn't open. But then I've heard other YouTubers say that they rang the hotel and they said the pool's open. So, conflicting information there as well. The one thing that did spark my interest was when Barry said that he dropped everything and he left his tools at the hotel. You know, he actually said that in the interview with Lauren. Now, of course, there were no tools found at the hotel, so you know that seems a little bit iffy. That's one part of his story that to me seems a little bit iffy. And I don't understand about the coolers. Can somebody explain to me why they would be looking for a load of coolers? I'm told that they're like water coolers, right? That's what you refer to over there as water coolers, or cool boxes, or you know, like food coolers. And apparently they would have expected him to have a lot because he's a hunter and what have you, but they didn't find any. So are they kind of suggesting that he may have took things out in coolers? I don't understand that. That kind of threw me off a little bit when that was mentioned. But I guess that's the only connection. Yeah, Jalen, that's the kind of connection that I was thinking. That are they thinking that? But obviously, you know, to do that, he would have had to. No, well, you know exactly what I'm saying. What he would have had to do to do that. So surely that would have left considerable blood evidence everywhere. I mean, is that what they found? Maybe because obviously they've concentrated on the house. You know, twice they've gone into the house. Have they found evidence there? I really take to think that they have. Yeah, it would have left a hell of a mess. Exactly, it would have done. So it's all just it's just a horrible situation, isn't it? I really, you know, either everybody is doing a great job and we're all putting pressure on the right person, and his story's gonna, if it's got holes in it, he's gonna slip up, or it's just this horrible persecution of somebody who's innocent, somebody who's lost their wife. It's a horrible, horrible situation. See you later, Kim. Thanks for coming in. I know it's early for you guys over there. So, you know, all we can do really is go with what we've got, I guess. But I don't know. I wonder if this whole chlorine story is a whole lot of nothing, really. I don't know. But it's just, I mean, what's it been now? 4 months? 4 months, and she's just disappeared. It's just mystifying, isn't it? It really is. Absolutely mystifying. Right, just to look at a couple of, just gonna have a quick look with you on Crime Online. I see a couple of news stories coming up on there. One of the stories that's breaking at the moment: beloved mum shot dead by ex-boyfriend in murder-suicide. Amanda Boring's 11-year-old son was in her car and he witnessed the incident. I mean, how horrific is that? Poor little 11-year-old boy. Hi, Bizemma. Poor little 11-year-old witnessed his mum being shot. I mean, that's just awful. That's just one of the stories that I saw come up this morning. It's a Pennsylvania man rear-ended his ex-girlfriend's car and then shot and killed her and himself in an apparent murder-suicide. Actually happened Friday night. Amanda Boring's 11-year-old son was in her car during the altercation with William Yanina, 38. The child was unharmed. Poor little kid. That's just horrendous. So many stories like this, guys. When I you know, I obviously I do a lot of research on. I look at a lot of cases and stuff that are coming out, and they're all just horrendous. They're all horrible. And there was another little boy as well, Rory Pope, who disappeared a little while ago in Idaho, and he's been found. They found his body. So it's the body of a 2-year-old Idaho boy who disappeared earlier this week has been recovered. Rory Pope was last seen at around 12:15 Wednesday by a home in Eagle near West Nordic Drive, North Arena Avenue in the Legacy Park subdivision. The boy didn't live in the area, but his family was visiting his grandparents when he disappeared. They didn't believe that he'd been abducted or anything. And then on Saturday morning, searchers found the boy's body in a nearby pond in the same subdivision. The poor little kid obviously wandered off and obviously fell in the pond. No foul play is suspected. Just terrible, isn't it? Absolutely terrible. Poor little kid. So, what are your thoughts on? I'll be interested to know your thoughts on both Suzanne and God, my mind's gone blank. Cassandra. What do you feel? What do you feel happened? I mean, let's take Cassandra's story first. It's very significant to me that she was pregnant, and that obviously, you know, she's got her first ultrasound coming up, and the father is her ex-boyfriend. All extremely significant to me. The fact that her vehicle was found 1.5 miles from his home. If it was him, what do you think he would have done? How would he have? Do you think he drove with her to that place where her vehicle was found? Do you think he put that there after? It's got to be significant though, right? The fact that he's not, you know, he's being kind of not really cooperating as well with law enforcement. I'm still trying to find out whether his current girlfriend, knew about the pregnancy. I mean, obviously, if she didn't and she's found out, and obviously, you know, she's not going to be happy about that. And did he know? I don't know. Did he know? Perhaps did she tell him and he didn't believe her, and he wanted to see proof? Like I say, her mother and her brother do believe that she went to see him on that morning. She's pretty certain that she didn't go grocery shopping or anything like that. You know, they believe that she went to see him to say, look, you know, got me ultrasound, do you want to come with me? Here's the evidence of my pregnancy, possibly, because you don't believe me or whatever. Yeah, it all sounds very, very, very suspicious. It sounds like there's a lot of history there with her and the current girlfriend. So I'm keeping a close eye. I'm keeping a close eye on that. Like I said, they are doing searches again today, so I'll see if anything comes up. And Suzanne, how do you guys sit with Suzanne's disappearance? How do you sit about Barry at the moment? I mean, I do know for a fact that, you know, his family are extremely uncomfortable at the moment. They really, of course, they don't want to believe it's him, but you know, just the way that he's acting and things that he said, you know, it's making them nervous. I've got to say, it's making them extremely uncomfortable. Her twin brother said that Dad told her to tell X. Right, okay, so it's highly possible she knows then, or she has just found out about the pregnancy. Yeah, Jalen says, I'm on the fence about Barry. I think he should be doing more. I do too. I think Barry really needs to come out and speak. I think, of course, you're going to be pointed at and you're going to be persecuted, but you can help yourself in that situation by saying, look, I'm here. I want to find my wife. That's the only thing I'm interested in, is finding my wife. Ask me what you want. I'll take whatever tests you want. If it just gets people off of my back, you know. So I don't understand why he's not doing that. I don't understand why he's not doing that. But yeah, it's the trouble is all these things that come out, don't they? There's nothing coming out that's kind of pointing away from Barry. It's all kind of pointing towards him in a way. But of course, it's only speculation. We're only speculating, but we can only speculate on what we're given. So, oh, stand up. I'm glad you mentioned that. So, just wanted to mention I spoke about Shanann at Speaker's Corner in Hyde Park last Sunday in front of a large crowd of women about the online hate towards her and her family. Oh, how'd it go? You're welcome to come on and talk about it if you want to. Of course, you don't have to. Anyone's welcome, by the way. If you want me to drop you the link in the chat, I'm quite welcome to do that. If anyone wants to come up, just talk about anything or offer their thoughts on any of these cases, on Suzanne's case or Cassandra's case, you're quite welcome. So Penny Sue says Barry could be involved. He's starting to lean in that direction, but personally can't tell. Nephew is also sketchy. He was very vocal at the first, never heard anything about him since. That's very true. We've not really heard anything, have we, from the nephew? Only at the beginning when they were talking about the reward. It went well, stand up. Oh, brilliant. It was good, very well received. Excellent. That's great. Yeah, I mean, it's a great thing, isn't it? It's a positive thing as well to pursue, you know, something like Shanann's Law, something that's going to help protect victims from online slander and harassment. And I mean, you know, why wouldn't you be for that? I don't understand anyone that would be against that. I think you'd be crazy to be against that. B said, Mama says, I'm waiting to find out the DNA of the skull found in HR. Yeah, so they found fragments of a skull, didn't they? Oh, I forget where it was now, exactly where it was. But didn't they say it was? They're pretty sure it's not Suzanne. Pretty sure that's right. I'm pretty sure they said it's, or they don't feel it, it's Suzanne. I might be wrong. Jalen says, I used to live in Great Portland Street in London. Love going to Speaker's Corner on a Sunday. Well done, stand up. Yeah, well done, stand up. Never been to Speaker's Corner. I've seen people on there and stuff on videos, but I've never been personally. Right, okay guys, I think I'm going to wrap up. It's about an hour and a half, so I think we've got a roast chicken dinner today. Of course, that's a big thing over here, Sunday roast. We like a Sunday roast in the UK. Weather's been iffy. It was nice this morning, it's just starting to rain. But so yeah, so I'm going to jump off. So I hope you all have a great weekend. Hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend. If we hear any news on Cassandra or Suzanne, of course, obviously, I'll post on the channel as soon as I can. But let's just hope that it's good news. I mean, it's not the fact that they're treating Cassandra's disappearance as a homicide is obviously worrying, extremely worrying, and not good news. But let's just hope they find something today in the search. But obviously, I will let you guys know. So thanks for joining me today. It's been a pleasure. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Thank you to Firefly and Kim for looking after you guys. It's always a joy to have you guys in. And yeah, thanks again, everyone. Take care, and we'll speak to you again soon, I'm sure.